اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Imran ibn Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, if a person has a right over another, for example, he is being owned by another, then he shall receive the reward of charity for each day that he gives him respite. Mentioned by Ahmed. Abu Musa al-Ashari radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, ordering 3 types of people is included in exaltation of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. Number 1, an old Muslim. Number 2, a person who memorized the Quran and remains balanced. Number 3, a just ruler. Note, remaining balanced means that the person pay due regard to the recitation of the Quran and does not commit excesses in reciting correctly like those who show off. Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates, I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu shall honor the person who honors the Allah appointed ruler on the day of resurrection. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu shall dishonor the person who dishonors the Allah appointed ruler on the day of resurrection. Mentioned by Ahmed. Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, blessing is with your elders. Mentioned by Hakim. Note, this means that there is blessing in the person who is old and therefore has more good deeds. Ubadah ibn Samit radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the person who does not exalt our elders, does not show mercy to our youngsters, and does not recognize the right of our alim, scholar, is not from my community, Ummah. Mentioned by Ahmed. Abu Mama radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, I advise the Caliph after me to fear Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. I advise him with regard to the Muslims. He must honor their elders, show mercy to their youngsters, respect their alim. He must not strike them in such a manner that he humiliates them. He must not frighten them to the extent that he pushes them to unbelief, kufr. He must not castrate them, or else he will put an end to their progeny, and he must not shut his door to them. For example, he must not refuse to listen to their complaints, or else the strong among them will eat the weak. For example, they will oppress the weak. Mentioned by Bayhaqi. Aisha radiallahu anha narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, pardon the mistakes of the pious people, but if they commit a sin which necessitates punishment, had, it will not be pardoned. Mentioned by Abu Dawud. Amr ibn Shu'aib narrates from his father and grandfather radiallahu ta'ala anhu that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam prohibited plucking out grey hairs, saying, this old age is the light of the Muslim. Mentioned by Tirmidhi. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, do not pluck out grey hairs because they will be sources of light on the day of resurrection. The person who turns grey in Islam shall have 1 good deed recorded in his favor, 1 evil wiped off his record, and he will be elevated in rank by 1. Mentioned by Ibn Hibban. Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu showers bounties to certain people so that they may convey benefits to others. As long as they continue conveying benefits to others, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu leaves them to enjoy those bounties. But once they stop conveying those benefits to others, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu takes the bounties away from them and gives them to others. Mentioned by Tabarani. Abu Dharr radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, smiling to your Muslim brother is an act of charity in your favor. Your commanding good and prohibiting evil is an act of charity. Showing the way to a lost person is an act of charity. Showing the way to a person with weak eyesight is an act of charity. Removing a rock, thorn, or bone from the path is an act of charity. Pouring water from your bucket into the bucket of your brothers is an act of charity. Mentioned by Tirmidhi. Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the person who walks in order to fulfill a need of his brother is better for him than his remaining in seclusion, itikaf, for 10 years. The person who remains in seclusion for a single day for the pleasure of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu shall place 3 trenches between him and the hellfire. Each trench is wider than the distance of the heavens and the earth. Mentioned by Tabarani. Jabir ibn Abdullah radiallahu ta'ala anhu and Abu Talha ibn Sahal al-Ansari radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrate that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the person who abstains from extending a helping hand to a Muslim at a place where his right is being forfeited and he is being dishonored, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu will most certainly abstain from helping him at a place where he hopes for Allah's help. The person who extends a helping hand to a Muslim at a place where he is being dishonored and his right is being forfeited, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu will most certainly help him at a place where he hopes for Allah's help. Mentioned by Abu Dawud. Huzaifa ibn al-Yaman radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the person who does not bother about the affairs of the Muslims is not of them. The person who is not loyal to Allah, His Messenger, His Book, His Imam, and to the general body of Muslims at any part of the morning or evening is not of them. Mentioned by Targhib. Salim radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates from his father radiallahu ta'ala anhu that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu shall fulfill the need of the one who fulfills the need of his brother. Mentioned by Abu Dawud. Anas radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the person who points towards good shall receive a reward equal to the one who does that good deed. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu loves it when a person in distress is helped. Mentioned by Bazzar. Jabir radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the believer loves and is loved by others. There is no good in the person who neither loves nor is loved. The best person is the one who confers most benefit to others. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to make amal upon whatever we have listened to, and may He give us the tawfiq to send this to others, inshallah. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayh.